Okay, we're here for another episode of Game On. We're here at the American Hotel with Dean Oberon. Dean, how are you today, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Now, it's been a pretty exciting football season. How have you enjoyed the season so far?
Yeah, the season's had lots of unexpected results, so it's been a bit like the AFL, fairly even. But yeah, no, it's been good. There's been some good crowds getting to the footy, which is great.
And coming back here to the American afterwards.
Yeah, it's been a very busy winter, so that's been good. Yeah, I went down and saw United last week, which was a great day at the footy. There's a good crowd there, catching up with all the old boys. It was good fun.
Now we've got the finals kicking off in our next couple of weeks. What do you got any tips for us?
Oh, I would not be prepared to tip at this stage, but just as long as it's a good competition, which I'm quite sure it will be. I always got a soft spot for United. They normally show pretty well. A bit of a rebuilding phase, but they look pretty good last week. Miami seems to be the flavour at the moment. The boys are playing some good footy across the river. Old Gumbau boys, so Leachville Gumbau, a bit of a soft spot there, and they're doing some good stuff as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that all pans out.
Absolutely. Now tell us, what have you got coming up at the American in the next couple of weeks?
Well, the sun's out, as you can see today, so it's good to see the back of winter. So the rooftop bar is always a popular spot when the sun comes out, and the boys are making some good cocktails. I think they've been practicing after hours by the look of the stock take, so there must be some good cocktails coming on board for summer. We've got the Mayweather fight as well, which will be this Sunday, fairly mad. So we've got all the TVs, all 12 screens. We've got the footy on, and we've got a couple of drink and food specials. So should be a good crowd. See what happens there.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us, Dean.
No worries at all. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Starting in the GVL this week, and the Echuca Bombers, they were taught a pretty harsh lesson by Rochester Tigers on Saturday at Victoria Park. They went down by 89 points to the Tigers, and it just shows they're still a long way off those finals sides. Rochester, they just looked better all over the ground. They were harder at the contest, better at the stoppages, and cleaner in their ball use, and they kept up that consistency throughout the entire game, which, you know, Echuca, they started to compete a little bit more in that last quarter, but it just wasn't enough to really put any stop to Rochester. Individual performances again quite strong. Simon Buckley, Jordan Florence, Tim Allen, Sam Toolman, Daniel Willis, both into the side this week, and they added a huge boost from that back line. They were able to get it out of that defence end, but then they just didn't have that, as Briggsy described, that link in the chain to get it down to their forwards. And then when they did get it inside 50, they couldn't deliver it in places that made it easy to put some scoreboard pressure on. The coach was pretty harsh after the game. He called it a heartless performance from the fellas, but look, hopefully they can just regroup and find, I guess, some motivation in those individual players and a purpose really to get out there and play against Mansfield this week.
Yeah, definitely. We had a big game in the Murray Football League. Echuca United, they're still pushing for even a top 4 finish, and they made that a little bit more possible with a 10-point win against Cobram. Again, the winning form is definitely most important for United, but they're not setting the world on fire at the moment, but they are still doing well. A few problems early in that first quarter. 23 points down at quarter time. That was Cobram had the win in that one. United really used that win in the second to get themselves going, get right into the contest, and from there they were able to, as I said, get things back on their terms and take control of the game. It was never comfortable. Only a 10-point win in the end, but it's an important 4 points for the club. They're now 4th on the ladder. They've got a pretty difficult trip. We know Newmarket are the form team of the competition. A difficult trip over there this week. 4 goals for Farron Priest. We know he's having an absolutely fantastic season. And the good news for United on the weekend, Lance Oswald, he's one of the big guns, and he was back out there. And the even better news for United, Guy Campbell has announced on the weekend he will be coaching the side again in 2018, which is a fantastic thing for the club. The best game of the weekend going in was definitely going to be Moama and Baruga, and it absolutely turned out that way over in Baruga. Moama, a slow start, really cost them in the end. If they hadn't have lost that first quarter by about 4 goals, I think they would have been able to get the win. They lost by 9 points in the end. Moama was coming off the bye, and it was a pretty wet week, so the training sessions, they found it a bit difficult to get much out of them with the slippery conditions and that sort of thing. And they were just a bit fumbly early in the game, especially in that first quarter. As I said, a 4-goal head start pretty much for Baruga. Always going to be difficult to get back into the game from there, but they were very competitive from there, got things on their terms, and they got it into that forward line, which we know Moama's forward line is super dangerous, especially at the moment. look, competitive with a side like Baruga for 3 quarters. It's definitely not a negative result for Moama, but the point remains they're going to have to really lift, find that extra gear if they want to take on a side like Nathalia or Numurkey in a second or third week of finals. Good contribution from the young guys as usual. Cooper Barber, Noah Wheeler, and Fraser Verhey, just brilliant. And there's different Moama kids playing brilliantly every week. Nathalia away this week from Moama, which is again one of the most difficult challenges there are at the moment. And a win would be good for Moama because if they can win, they'll probably be locked into playing at home in that first week of finals. And we decided we would get down to Moama this week and meet the players.
I won a best and fairest a couple of years ago back at Barham.
Probably playing in a grand final a few years ago, yeah.
5 premierships in the juniors, so yeah.
Probably playing the first game at Moama a few years ago. It's pretty good.
A bit of Subway.
I do pretty good sausage rolls after the game.
Well, after a game, they usually bring in hot dogs and sausage rolls, so either one of them.
Liam Ritchie tripping over in front of his own opponent.
Richie kicking it backwards.
Well, Mitchie kicking the ball backwards was pretty funny. That was pretty funny.
Cooper Barb's got the worst haircut.
Liam Rich's got a pretty bad haircut at the moment. He had an 18th on the weekend. That was a bit silly.
Reece Archer slicked back.
Reece Archer.
Reece Archard, when you do something wrong, gets pretty angry.
Reece Archer. He just goes off. He always there for a spray. It's a good spray.
Reece Archard by a mile. If you just don't hit a person exactly where he wants it, you get yelled at. Turnovers. I don't know. I heard Harry say it before. I don't know. I heard Harry say it.
Well, the Heathcote finals kicked off this weekend, and Leachfield Gumbauer, they are heading through to the semi-final, and they're going to be playing off for a spot in the grand final after a big 52-point win against Colburn Abbott. It was a super scrappy win. Again, those muddy, slippery conditions make it tough for both sides, and they had to do it without their captain Daniel Cowenberg and Adam DeSico. So there's a couple of gun players that they had to go into the biggest game of the season without. But they had some of those resis. They've got a ton of talent in the resis, and Liam Guinan was one of the guys that stepped up, and he was their best player in that massive win. So that's huge for him. And Coldboy, they really butchered their chance to get back into the game. They were only 4 goals down at half time and 1 goal 5 in that third quarter when they had a lot of the play. We could have been talking about a completely different result if they didn't mess up those chances. So as we say, they're going to have to improve. Leachfield Gumbauer to beat North Bendigo. The winner will be going straight through to the grand final. We're here for the prelim final of the Echuca Fashion Centre Workwear First Handball Competition. Rules are the same as always, 3 handballs each, and the top 1 competitor will be going through to the grand final. Let's meet today's competitors.
I'm Austin Rana.
I'm Harry Wright.
I'm Brody Lloyd.
I'm Lucas McConnell.
Right, so well done. We had Brody the winner in the end, and for the runner-up, we've got $50 to Echuca Fashion Centre. Thank you very much, boys. Let's get into this weekend's netball and start in the Murray League, where Moama got back to their best with a 32-goal win against Baruga. We know they've had a rough few weeks. They had that loss and a draw in there as well. The attacking end was one of the things that looked a lot better than some of those previous weeks. And the defensive pressure, we know that's something that Moama, prides itself on at their A grade, and they brought that back right across the whole court this week to really shut down Baruga. And Moama is locked into top spot on the ladder, so not too much to play for this week, but I think they could probably take it pretty easy against Nathalia and still get the result.
Yeah, look, Tongala, they're also bouncing back off their own disappointing loss to Kungutna, but they came out really strongly, got that 12-goal win over Finley at Tawny, which is what you wanted. The coach, Alicia White, she was actually celebrating her 350th A-grade game, so excellent achievement for her, and great to finish the day off with a win. Just got back to doing the little things right again and doing it consistently. It was great to have Abby Pettifer back just to add a bit more combinations and options in that attacking end, both in B grade and A grade, so a good addition there. And it meant Sarah Pettifer, she was able to go out and play that wing attack role, and she really dominated from there. Hopefully they can continue that form and have a good last game against Rumballara, and they're really going to need that percentage boosting win if they're to get above Numurkah and into second on the ladder.
Yeah, that's right, and Echuca United, another team pushing for those top 4 spots. A very comfortable win in the end, a 35-goal result against Cobram. Cobram actually had to play faint in the first 2 minutes of the game, and I think it's obviously not good. And it took both sides just a few minutes after that to really settle in and focus on the game. But they did, United, with a team that settled the quickest and clearly too good in the end. Defensively, United is just so strong at the moment, and Amy Gledhill and Clarinda Hudson dominant. It's the second lowest amount of goals they've conceded all year, which is the right time of the season to be bringing your best defensively. And the goalers did their job as well. Sophie Atkinson and Gracie Berryman were as good as usual. It's a pretty big game this week against Numurkah. The winner's going to take third on the ladder, from what I can tell, and they're going to get a much easier matchup for that first week of finals. Yeah, across in the Goulburn Valley League now, we had a really strong performance also from Echuca. The first half was exceptional. They were up 34-9 by half time, so a really good showing for them to give to a home crowd at Victoria Park, especially with Carly Stevens playing her 300th game. They won by 26 overall against Rochester Tigers, who's always been a pretty big rival for Echuca, so another good one to get a win over the Tigers, who were missing the 2 Holt sisters, so they weren't at full strength, but to the Bombers' credit, they really just came to play. They were quicker and had a lot more defensive pressure everywhere across the ground. Lisa Drysdale, she was incredibly accurate, and Abby Poulton, she had to really step up this week with Erin Hill out. She played an crucial role in centre and delivered beautifully into those goalies. Deanna Kent, she played an incredible game in wing defence, and that defensive pressure I was talking about, most of that came from her in the first half, and she created a lot of turnovers, which was able to set up that lead, and that lead then enabled them to bring on 3 girls, all under 18, all for their A-grade debut. So Bridget Byrne, Lucy Eichhold and Claudia Mawson, all girls who stepped up for their A-grade debut, and they'll be looking up to step up again next season into A-grade, so it just shows how much young talent is still lying there at the club. It was a must-win on Saturday to keep their finals hopes alive, and another must-win this Saturday against Mansfield, but a lot of things are going to have to go right to see Echuca into that top 6. Yeah, look, well, let's take a look at this week's fixtures.
Hi, my name is Tamika Polomeni from the Echuca Youth Girls team. This week in the GVL, Echuca will play Mansfield away in the home and away round. In the Murray League, Echuca United will take on Numurkah away. Moama will host Nathalia at home, and Tongala is away at Rumba. In the Heathcote League finals, Litchfield Gunbower takes on North Bendigo at Lockington. And Peculiar United will play Strathmerton in the semi-finals at Deniliquin. And my youth girls will play at Deakin Reserve on Sunday to take on Shep Notra in the prelim finals.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Game On. Be sure to tune in to riverineherald.com.au and our Facebook page next Thursday for next week's show. And grab your copy of Monday's Riv so you can check the lift out to see if you're the American hotels facing the crowd.
But before you go, stick around to see some footage of the Echuca Youth Girls after their win over Shepparton United at Mooroopna on Sunday. Those celebrations to come. And good luck to the girls this weekend in their preliminary final.